my horrified face for reading. Hi, everybody. Turn the music down a little, so hopefully you can hear me. La 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 la. Hope you are all well. Welcome to this crazy stream idea that hopefully goes well. We'll see. But tonight you get a stream of which hopefully you can fall asleep to, chill out to, do all of that good stuff. Welcome to reading time. Get cozy with me, my hopefully soothing voice, and all that good stuff by reading classical poetry. So also I don't get copyright hit. That's like the second part of it. So I'm happy to have you all here. You can either, like adjusting sound here, you can fall asleep, you can body double, you can do your taxes, you can do whatever you need to do, you could just chat and hang out, whatever's clever. But the point of this is to be the coziest, chillest, most fucking whatever stream to have on in the background. Just it's real person ASMR. And except I'm not gonna be like tapping my microphone for you. Be a little weird. You can totally create thumbnails to do Sevron, create a grocery list, and mod the stream all at the same time, mama. That is the point of this stream. You can do it. So, feel free to chat with each other. Feel free to chill the fuck out. Couple of fun administrative things. One, I have my cat cafe now live at the bottom of my tabs, panels, and extensions. So feel free to order drinks and hopefully no one drops them. Two, if you mouse over the stream, you will see that you can actually, and apologies, this one's Ben's Bits. Let's do a test one. But you can pick a cute and cuddly little avatar and order a drink or a ramen or a food. Look at that. That's pie. Isn't pie cute? And just have a little fun if you want. But that aside, are we ready? I am Nicorette, mama. I do help. Get your drinks. Get your blankets. I don't know how long this is going to go, by the way. But we'll figure it out. We'll see. But first, tonight, we are reading Paradise Lost by the great John Milton. It was written in the mid-1600s, and it is an epic poem, which means it is not just epic in its awesomeness and glory, but an epic poem means a long narrative. Think the Iliad and the Odyssey, for those of you who have read those fabulous things. Also, new movie coming out this year. We'll see about that. But Paradise Lost is 12 books within its long-ass poem. And this was fun because I'm a dork and just had to do this. Blank verse. Truly, Milton is the dude that made it extremely cool, popular, suave at the time. It is considered probably the most influential form of poetry that came out of the 16th century. And it just means it's regular, it has regular metrical but unrhymed lines. And it's usually in iambic pentameter. And what's really important about Paradise Lost from an actual, how it's written, Milton loves using, double syntax. He likes doing lots of fun syllabic wordplay, and cool things like that. So he's like, I'm the dude who made it awesome. One thing that I found extremely interesting, and I did not know this at the time, was that by the time Milton wrote this, he actually was blind. So he did not physically write it, he did it through dictation, which is pretty cool in the 1600s. So, aside from that, if you have never read Paradise Lost in all of its glory, because why would you be like, you know what I feel like doing today, Nikki? I feel like picking up a 16th century influential 12-book poem by a man who, anyway. It's cool. You have, though, probably been influenced by it in many, 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 many stories. When we often see Paradise Lost, it has had such influence upon art, music, movies, animation, everything from, William Blake to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein to more to fucking C.S. Lewis, Lovecraft, even like you'll see it in the Sandman series with Neil Gaiman, all that good stuff. When it comes to games, it's been exceptionally influential from everything from, there was actually a Paradise Lost game way back in the day. Anytime something is named Pandemonium, so looking at you, Doom, that is influence from Paradise Lost. It's all over the fucking Final Fantasy series. There's my personal favorite in Persona 5. There is a weapon that Joker can get, ironically, if you, if you combine the Persona Sentinel with, and create the item. If you itemize him versus combine him, you get an item named Paradise Lost. It's pretty funny. It's in Grand Blue Fantasy. We see it all over. So it's pretty awesome. It's been influential in many ways, shapes, and forms. The biggest elements, and aside from talking about the style, let's talk about some of the themes. If you've not read it, the first half follows our good homie Satan, aka Lucifer, after the fall. And then the second half follows Adam and Eve. The other reason I decided to pick this was, oh look, a new Caleb myth has recently dropped. Let's see what similarities we can find. So, there is this, there's lots of themes in it. We have idolatry, taking on the monarchy, classic 16th century stuff. And additionally, themes of marriage, but this concept of what is truly good, what is truly evil, and this gray morality. So moral ambiguity is a huge theme here, depending on who you are and who is the good guy, who is the bad guy. Last but not least, this story talks very heavily in free will from the concept of like the creation of humanity, but also agency. Do we make the decisions that we have actually made, or were we always destined to fall the way that we are? The last thing I will mention is the cosmology that is made in Paradise Lost has kind of gone on through the annals of history into a lot of the things that it has influenced. And that's why I brought up Pandemonium and Doom. Like the cosmology in this game was actually, in this book was made by Milton himself. Some of it does reference the Bible. He did not set out to write a biblical epic. He just did. And he was like, fuck, sweet, cool. But what's really, really interesting at the time is how much with the time that he created this cosmology, how much it went against the geocentric and the heliocentric designs of the solar system that was popularized by science at the time. So basically Milton made this up and everyone's kind of been using a lot of it since. So a lot of these things that we get in modern literature, culture, games, art was made by a dude in the 16th century, which is kind of pretty cool. So anyway, last thing I will mention, one of the most beautiful parts of this book is that at the time that it was made, there are etchings that were done they're etchings, engravings. I don't even know how to how to describe them. Doré did all of them, Gustave Doré, and they're just like fucking cool. You should check them out. So it's like a graphic novel back in the day. All right. English nerd passion intensifies. So, what a coinky dink. Mama, thank you for all of those fun facts. Yes. Last fun fact. Some argue that Paradise Lost may relate to the English Civil Wars. It could have. There's lots of things. So, no, Milton did not support the monarchy. You're going to see that a lot in this. So it's like, basically think of God and heaven as the monarchy, and then I'm still going to stick with the fact that Lucifer in this story is the anti-hero who got fucked. And it makes you change the view of how he writes it. So, anyway, hopefully you will fall asleep and be chill. I don't know why I picked one of the fucking hardest epic poems to read. It would have been like, I should have just been like, hey mama, should I just read Chaucer in Old English? Yeah. Would have been the same. least it feels like it. So before I begin, I could have started with Beowulf and cried. It would have been the same. Sound check. Do I sound okay over the music? Do you want music up or down? We good? Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do Beowulf, like really drunk. Like real drunk. Alright. Hopefully, you all get some rest. If you would like to follow along at home, I am reading the Barnes & Noble Classic Edition with introduction and notes by David Hawkes. So, God, here goes nothing, y'all. And I'll pause. I'm not actually going to pause for ad breaks. Okay. This was a bad idea. Let's do this. I'm going to soothe you with my dulcet tones. Hang in there. Frost is like, peaced out. No, I just plugged up anything. Hang on. Everything's fine. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties fixed. Let's do it. Of man's first disobedience, and the fruit of that forbidden tree, whose mortal taste brought death into the world and all our woe, with loss of Eden, till one greater man restore us, and regain the blissful seat. Sing, heavenly muse, that on secret top of Oreb or of Sinai, didst inspire that shepherd who first taught the chosen seed, in the beginning how the heavens and earth rose out of chaos, or if Sion hill delight thee more. And slow as brook that flowed fast by the oracle of God, I thence invoke thy aid to my adventurous song, that with no middle flight extends to our soar above the anon mount, while it pursues things unattempted yet in prose or rhyme. And chiefly thou, O Spirit, that dost prefer before all temples the upright, pure, and heart, instruct me, for thou knowest, thou from the first wast present, and with mighty wings outspread, dove-like sattest brooding on the vast abyss, and maddest it pregnant. What in me is dark, illuminate. What is low, raise and support, that to the height of the great argument I may assert eternal providence, and justify the ways of God to men. Say first, for heaven hides nothing from thy view, nor the deep tract of hell. Say first what cause moved our grandparents, in that happy state favored of heaven so highly, to fall off from their Creator, and transgress his will, for one restraint, lords of the world besides, who first seduced them to that foul revolt, the infernal serpent. He it was, whose guile stirred up with envy and revenge, deceived the mother of mankind. What time his pride had cast out from heaven, with all his host of rebel angels, by whose aid aspiring to set himself in glory above his peers, he trusted to have equaled the Most High. If he opposed, and with ambitious aim against the throne and monarchy of God, raised imperous war in heaven and battled proud with vain attempt, him the almighty power hurled headlong flaming from the ethereal sky, with hideous ruin and combustion down to bottomless perdition, there to dwell in adamantine chains and penal fire, who durst defy the omnipotent to arms. 9 times the space that measures day and night to mortal men, he with his horrid crew lay vanquished, rolling in the fiery gulf, confounded, though immortal. But his doom reserved him to more wrath, for now the thought both of lost happiness and lasting pain torments him. Round he throws his baleful eyes that witnessed huge affliction and dismay, mixed with adorate pride and steadfast hate at once, as far as angels can. he views the dismal situation waste and wild. A dungeon horrible on all sides around, as one great furnace flamed. Yet from those flames no light, but rather darkness visible, served only to discover sights of woe, regions of sorrow, doleful shades where peace and rest can never dwell. Hope never comes that comes to all, but torture without end still urges, and a fiery deluge, fed with ever-burning sulphur unconsumed. Such place eternal justice had prepared for those rebellious. Here their prison ordained in utter darkness, and their portion set as far removed from God and light and heaven as from the center thrice of utmost pole. Oh, how unlike the place from which they fell! There the companions of his fall, overwhelmed with floods and whirlwinds of tempestuous fire, he soon discerns. And weltering by his side, one next himself in power and next in crime, long after known in Palestine, and named Beelzebub, to whom the arch enemy, and thence in heaven called Satan, with bold words, breaking the horrid silence, thus began. If thou beest he, but oh, how fallen, how changed from him, who in the happy realms of light, clothed with translucent brightness, didst outshine myriads through bright, if he, whom mutual league, united thoughts and counsels, equal hope and hazard in glorious enterprise, joined with me once, now misery hath joined in equal ruin. Into what pit thou seest, from what height fallen, so much the stronger proved he with his thunder, and till then who knew the force of those dire arms? Yet not for those, nor what the potent victor in his rage can else inflict, do I repent or change, though changed in outward luster, that fixed mind and high disdain from sense of injured merit, that with the mightiest raised me to contend, and to fierce contention brought along innumerable force of spirits armed, that durst dislike his reign, and me, preferring his utmost power with averse power opposed, in dubious battle on the plains of heaven, and shook his throne. What though the field be lost? All is not lost, though unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield, and what is else not to be overcome. That glory never shall his wrath or might extort from me, to bow and sue for grace with suppliant knee, and defy his power. Who from the terror of his arm so late doubted his empire, that were low indeed, that were ignominy and shame beneath this downfall, since by fate the strength of gods and this imperial substance cannot fail, since through experience of this great event, in arms not worse, in foresight much advanced, we may with more successful hope resolve to wage by force or guile eternal war, irreconcilable to our grand foe, who now triumphs in the excess of joy, sole reigning holds the tyranny of heaven. So spake the apostate angel, though in pain, vaunting aloud, but racked with deep despair. And him thus answered soon his bold compeer. O Prince, O chief of many-throned powers, that led the embattled seraphim to war under thy conduct and in dreadful deeds fearless, endangered heaven's perpetual king and put to proof his high supremacy, Whether upheld by strength or chance or fate, too well I see and rue the dire event, that with sad overflow and foul defeat hath lost us heaven, and all this mighty host in horrible destruction laid thus low, as far as God and heavenly essences can perish. For the mind and spirit remains invincible, and vigor soon returns, though all our glory extinct, and happy state here swallowed up by endless misery. But what if he, our conqueror, whom I now of force believe almighty, since no less than such could have overpowered such force as ours, have left us this our spirit and strength entire, strongly to suffer and support our pains, that we may so suffice his vengeful ire, or do him mightier service, as his thralls be right of war, whatever his business be, here in the heart of hell to work in fire, or do his errands in the gloomy deep. What can it then avail, though yet we feel strength undiminished and eternal being, to undergo eternal punishment? Whereto, with speedy words, the arch-fiend replied, Fallen cherub, to be weak is miserable, doing or suffering. But of this be sure, to do aught good never will be our task, but ever to do ill our sole delight, as being the contrary to his high will whom we resist. If then his providence out of our evil seek to bring forth good, our labor must be to prevent that end, and out of good still to find means of evil, which oft times may succeed, so as perhaps shall grieve him, if I fail not, and disturb his utmost counsels from the destined aim. But see, the angry victor hath recalled his ministers of vengeance and pursuit back to the gates of heaven. The sulphurous hail shot after us in storm overblown hath laid the fiery surge that from the precipice of heaven received us falling, and the thunder, winged with red lightning and impetuous rage, perhaps hath spent his shafts, and ceases now to bellow through the vast and boundless deep. Let us not slip the occasion, whether scorn or satiate fury, yield it from our foe. Seest thou yon dreary plain, forlorn and wild, the seat of desolation, void of light, save what the glimmering of these livid flames casts pale and dreadful? Thither let us tend from off the tossing of these fiery waves. There rest, if any rest can harbor there, and reassembling our afflicted powers, consult how we may henceforth most offend our enemy, our own loss how repair, how overcome this dire calamity, what reinforcement we may gain from hope, if not, what resolution from despair. Thus Satan talking to his nearest mate, with head uplift above the wave and eyes that sparkling blazed. His other parts besides prone on the flood, extending long and large, lay floating many a rood, in bulk as huge as whom the fables name, of monstrous size, Titan or earthborn, that warred on Jove, Brazius or Typhoon, whom the den by ancient Tarsus held, or that sea beast Leviathan, which God of all his works created hugest that swim the ocean stream, him haply slumbering on the Norway foam, the pilot of some small night-foundered skiff, deeming some island off, as seamen tell, with fixed anchor in his scaly rind, moors by the side under the lee, while night invests the sea in wished-morn delays. So stretched out huge in length the arch-fiend lay, chained on the burning lake, nor ever thence had risen, or heaved his head, but that the will and high permission of all ruling heaven left him at large to his own dark designs, that with reiterated crimes he might heap on himself damnation while he sought evil to others, and enraged might see how all his malice served but to bring forth infinite goodness, grace, and mercy shown on man by him seduced, but on himself treble confusion, wrath, and vengeance poured. Forthwith upright he rears from off the pool, his mighty stature. On each hand the flames driven backward slope their pointing spires, and rolled in billows, leave in the mist a horrid veil. Then, with expanded wings, he steers his flight aloft, incumbent on the dusky air, that felt unusual weight, till on dry land he lights, if it were land that ever burned with solid as the lake of liquid fire, and such appeared in hue, as when the force of subterranean wind transports a hill torn from Pelorus, or the shattered side of thundering Etna, whose combustible and fueled entrails thence convinced fire, sublimed with mineral fury, aid the winds, and leave a singed bottom all involved with stench and smoke. Such resting found the soul of unblessed feet. He followed his next mate, both glorying to have scaped the Stygian flood, as gods, and by their own recovered strength, not by the sufferance of supernatural power. Is this the region, this the soil, the clime, said then the lost archangel, this the seat that we must change for heaven, this mournful gloom for the celestial light? Be it so, since he who now is sovereign can depose and bid what shall be right. Farthest from him is best, whom reason hath equalled, force hath made supreme above his equal. Farewell, happy fields, where joy forever dwells. Hail, horrors, hail, infernal world, and thou profoundest hell receive thy new possessor. One who brings a mind not to be changed by place or time. The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven. What matters where, if I be still the same, and what I should be all but less than he whom thunder hath made greater? Here at least we shall be free. The Almighty hath not built here for his envy, will not drive us hence. Here we may reign secure, and in my choice to reign is worth ambition. Though in hell, better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. But whatever for, let we then, our faithful friends, the associates and co-partners of our loss, lie thus astonished on the oblivious pool, and call them not to share with us their part in this unhappy mansion, or once more, with rallied arms to try what may be yet regained in heaven, or what more lost in hell. Okay, I get to take a small water break. I did 270 lines. How's everyone doing? Thank you for hydrate and blinking. Also, if everyone has questions about what the hell is happening in the story or how it relates, let me know. Or if English nerds want to nerd out, now is the time for English nerds to nerd out. Just realized music's a little low. There we go. I'm all good. Okay. Thank you, Levi. This is my first time doing it. what is my favorite line in Paradise Lost? It kind of came by quite recently, but probably not the line that you would think. I, of course, enjoy the early books. Because you know me, I love me a good Lucifer redeclaring war on God and walking across a lake of fire. The most common line that most people I think know of Paradise Lost is, of course, it's better to reign in hell than be servant in heaven, right? Which is actually what just came up. It's line 260. It's line 264 of book 1. So to catch you guys up on what is happening, welcome to the Nikki Tea reading room, where the stream is basically just a cozy Sunday stream that you can have on in the background. I am currently reading book 1 of Paradise Lost with Milton because of recent... I will say that a lot of people talk about Caleb from the Adam and Eve perspective of my Love and Deep Space friends. However, if we're talking about archfiends, you should pay attention to good old Lucifer and Silverwing Fiend Silas in the beginning. You'll see a lot of crossover themes. But the stream is just to have something on in the background. I know Silas girlies in Asia have been living it up. I'm helping you not spend, Shadow. That's what I'm helping you do. So this stream is just meant to be chill, y'all. You can order cute cafe stuff. There is a cute cafe over if you mouse over my screen or the one below it. We don't talk about Archfiend. It's okay, Shadow. We don't talk about Archfiend. But my honest favorite line, Mama, to go back to it, is actually, I guess it's totally said by Lucifer. Hang on. He has many good speeches. I gotta find it. He has a good one, and then I think it's Beelzebub right before he goes out of the gates has a really great line. And it's the line about, where is it? God damn it. Give me a second. It's like right there. It is about the tyranny of heaven and like how they're like, fuck it. If this is what we are cast out to be, then we shall fucking be it. That one. It's okay. Remember, Shadow, it's okay to pull, just don't spend money. Silas is being a reasonable Silas being. So essentially what has happened is in the beginning of Paradise Lost, God has cast out everybody who is at war. Lucifer and his homies. They have their own special little spot in fucking hell, essentially on an eternal lake of fire. And the thing is what's interesting is that they are kept on said lake of fire burning eternally by their own will. Like I mentioned that there's this aspect of agency. We talk truly about free will when we get to the Adam and Eve portions of the book, but early on it's the agency of being basically getting fucked and choosing to get back up. And there's what I find so interesting is in the lines 100 to basically 200, while everyone is kind of like, oh, we got cast out and we're fucked, and at this point God has been throwing like literal thunderbolts and shit at us. What the fuck? Like, why? What I find interesting is that Lucifer represents, or Satan represents, hope of all things that he could represent. And this is my set of favorite lines is this part of, consult how we may henceforth most offend our enemy, our own loss how we repair, how overcome this dire calamity, what reinforcement we may gain from hope, if not, what resolution from despair. So like this concept of, well, fuck it, if you don't have hope, then take whatever despair that you have, turn it around, and we're gonna fuck with God. And I'm a big fan of that. I think of better living through spite. So, that would be why. That would be my favorite line harmony. Yep, better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. It's crazy cool. And you'll see again all of these themes, like once you break them down out of the epic poetry lines, you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then you see it in a bunch of other places. It is very metal. I'm very big about have hope. If not, fuck them. If you haven't noticed that on the podcast, have hope. If not, fuck them. All right, I think I'm hydrated. Oh, now we're getting to his generals and such, talking back to him. So after Satan, we're gonna have a nice, lovely discussion with Beelzebub. This is gonna be great. Snapping my neck. I'm good. All right, carry on, folks. So Satan spake, and him Beelzebub thus answered: Leader of those armies bright, which but the omnipotent none could have foiled. If once they hear that voice, their liveliest pledge of hope and fears and dangers, heard so oft in worst extremes, and on the perilous edge of battle, when it raged in all assaults, their surest signals, they will soon resume new courage and revive, though now they lie groveling and prostrate on yon lake of fire, as we erewhile, astounded and amazed. No wonder, fallen such a pernicious height. He scarce had ceased when the superior fiend was moving toward the shore, his ponderous shield, ethereal temper, messy, massy, large and round, behind him cast. The broad circumference hung on his shoulders like the moon, whose orb, though opic glass, the Tuscan artist views at evening from the top of Fisol, or in Valdorno, to descry new lands, rivers, or mountains on her spotty globe. His spear, to equal which the tallest pine hewn on Norwegian hills to be the mast of some great amiral, were but a wand. He walked with to support uneasy steps over the burning marl, not like those steps on heaven's azure. And the torrid clime smote on him sore besides, vaulted with fire. Nathless he so endured, till on the beach of the inflamed sea he stood and called his legions, angel forms, who lay entranced, thick as autumnal leaves that strewn the brooks in Vallombrosa, where the Asturian shades high over arc embowered, or scattered sedge afloat, when the fierce winds Orion armed hath vexed the Red Sea coast, whose waves overthrew Busiris and his Mephian chivalry, while with perfidious hatred they pursued the sojourners of Goshen, who beheld from the safe shore their floating carcasses and broken chariot wheels. So thick bestrown, abject and lost lay these, covered the flood, under amazement of their hideous change. He called so loud that all the hollow deep of hell resounded. Princes, potestants, warriors, the flowers of heaven, once yours, now lost. If such astonishment as this can seize eternal spirits, or have ye chosen this place after the toil of battle to repose your wearied virtue? For the ease you find to slumber here as in the vales of heaven? Or in this abject posture have ye sworn to adore the conqueror, who now beholds cherub and seraph rolling in the flood with scattered arms and ensigns, till anon his swift pursuers from heaven gates discern the advantage, and descending tread us down thus drooping, or with linked thunderbolts transfix us to the bottom of this gulf. Awake, arise, or be forever fallen. They heard, and were abashed, and up they sprung upon the wing, as when men wont to watch on duty, sleeping found by whom they dread, rouse and bestir themselves ere well awake. Nor did they not perceive the evil plight in which they were, or the fierce pains not feel. Yet to their general's voice they soon obeyed, innumerable, as when the potent rod of Amram's son in Egypt's evil day waved round the coast, upcalled a pitchy cloud of locusts, warping on the eastern wind, that o'er the realm of impious Pharaoh hung like night, and darkened all the land of Nile. So numberless were those bad angels, seen hovering on wing under the cope of hell. Twixt upper, nether, and surrounding fires, till, as signal given, the uplifted spear of the great Sultan waving to direct their course. An even balance down they light on the firm brimstone, and fill all the plain. A multitude, like which the populous north poured never from her frozen loins, to pass Rhine or the Danube, where her barbarous sons came like a deluge on the south, and spread beneath Gibraltar to the Libyan sands, forthwith from every squadron and each band, the heads and leaders thither haste, where stood their great commander. God-like shapes and forms, excelling human, princely dignities and powers, that erst in heaven sat on thrones, though of their names in heavenly records now be no memorial, blotted out and razed by their rebellion from the books of life. Nor had they yet among the sons of Eve got them new names, till wandering o'er the earth through God's high sufferance for the trial of man, by falsities and lies the greatest part of mankind they corrupted, to forsake God their Creator, and the invisible glory of him that made them, to transform off to the image of a brute, adorned with gay religions full of pomp and gold, and devils to adore for deities. Then were they known to men by various names and various idols through the heathen world. Say, Muse, their names then known, who first, who last, roused from the slumber on the fiery couch, and their great emperor's call as next in worth came singly when he stood on the bare strand, while the promiscuous crowd stood yet aloof. The chief were those who, from the pit of hell roaming to seek their prey on earth, durst fix their seats long after next the seat of God, their altars by his altar, gods adored among the nations round, and durst abide Jehovah's thundering sound out of Sion, throned between the cherubim. They often placed within his sanctuary itself their shrines, abominations. And with cursed things his holy rites and solemn feasts profaned, and with their darkness durst affront his light. First Moloch, horrid king, besmeared with blood of human sacrifice and parents' tears, though for the noise of drums and timbrels loud their children's cries unheard, that passed through fire to his grim idol. Him the Ammonite worshipped in Rabbah, and her watery plain in Argob, and Basan to the stream of utmost Arnon. Not content with such audacious neighborhood, the wisest heart of Solomon he led by fraud to build his temple right against the temple of God, on the arbutus hill, and made his grove the pleasant valley of Himnon. Tophet thence and black Gehenna called, the type of hell. Next, Chemos, the obscene dread of Moab's sons, from Aroer to Nebo, and the wild of southmost Abiram, and Hezebon and Hormon, Sam's realm, beyond the flowery dale of Sibnah, clad with vines, and Elel to the Aphasic pool, Purr his other name, which he enticed Israel to sitten on their march from Nile, to do him wanton cries and wanton rites which cost them woe. Yet thence his lustful orgies he enlarged even to that hill of scandal, by the grove of Moloch homicide, lust hard by hate, till good Josiah drove them thence to hell. With these came they, whom from the bordering flood of old Euphrates to brook that parts Egypt from Syrian ground had general names of Baalim and Astaroth, those male, those feminine. For spirits, when they please, can either sex assume, for both so soft and uncompounded in their essence pure, not tied or manacled with joint or limb, nor founded on the brittle strength of bones, like cumbrous flesh, but in the shape they choose, dilated or condensed, bright or obscure, can execute their airy purposes, and works of love or enmity fulfill. For those the race of Israel oft forsook their living strength, and unfrequented left his righteous altar, bowing lowly down to bestial gods, for which their heads as low bowed down in battle, sunk before the spear of despicable foes. With these in troop came Astaroth, whom the Philistines called Astarte, queen of heaven, with crescent horns, to whose bright image nightly by the moon Sidonian virgins paid their vows and songs. And Sion also not unsung, where stood her temple on the offensive mountain, built by the uxorious king, whose heart, though large, beguiled by fair adulteresses, fell to idols foul. Thamamuz came next behind, whose annual wound in Lebanon allured the Syrian damsels to lament his fate and amorous ditties all summer's day, while smooth Adonis from his native rock ran purple to the sea, supposed by blood of Thamamuz yearly wounded. The love tale infected Sion's daughters with the heat, whose wanton passions in the sacred porch Ezekiel saw, when, by the vision led, he surveyed the dark idolatries of alienated Judah. Next came one who mourned in earnest, when the captive ark maimed his brutal image, head and hands lopped off in his own temple on the Grunzel edge, where he fell flat and shamed his worshippers. Dagon his name, sea monster, upward man and downward fish, yet had his temple high reared in Azotus, dreaded through the coast of Palestine and Goth and Ascalon and Acheron and Gaza's frontier bounds. Him followed Rimmon, whose delightful seat was fair Damascus, on the fertile banks of Abana and Pharphar, lucid streams. He also against the house of God was bold. A leper once he lost and gained a king, Ahaz, his sottish conqueror, whom he drew God's altar to disparage and displace for one of Syrian mode whereon to burn his osious offerings and adore the gods whom he had vanquished. After these appeared a crew who under names of old renown, Osiris, Isis, Horus, and their train, with monstrous shapes and sorceries abused fanatic Egypt and her priests to seek their wandering gods disguised in brutish forms rather than human. Nor did Israel escape the infection, when their borrowed gold composed the calf in Oreb, and the rebel king doubled that sin in Bethel and in Dan, likening his maker to the grazed ox. Jehovah, who in one night, when he passed from Egypt marching, equaled with one stroke both her firstborn and all her bleeding gods. Belial came last, than whom a spirit more lewd fell not from heaven, or more gross to love vice for itself. To him no temple stood, or altar smoked, yet who more oft than he in temples and at altars when the priest turns atheist, as did Eli's sons, who filled with lust and violence the house of God, in courts and palaces who also reigns, and in luxurious cities where the noise of riot ascends above the loftiest towers, and injury and outrage, and when night darkens the streets, then wander forth the sons of Belial, flown with insolence and wine. Witness the streets of Sodom, and that night in Gibeah, when the hospitable door exposed a matron to avoid worse rape. These were the prime, in order and in might. The rest were long to tell, though far renowned. Tholian gods of Javan's issue held, gods yet confessed later than heaven and earth their boasted parents. Titan, heaven's firstborn, with his enormous brood and birthright seized by younger Saturn. He from mightier Jove, his own raised son, like measure found, so Jove usurping reigned. These first in Crete and Ida known, thence on a snowy top of cold Olympus ruled the middle air, their highest heaven, or on the Delphinian cliff, or in Dodona, and though all the bounds of Doric land, or who with Saturn old fled over Adria to the Hespean fields, and o'er the Celtic roamed the utmost isles. All these and more came flocking, but with looks downcast and damp. Sorry. Yes, Mama? I did not. Oh, you heard my little. You are Astarte, my queen. Sorry, water break. That was another 250 lines. I heard Discord going off and I thought I was getting yelled at. Honey bunny. Yay. Thank you, Mama. I am not a theater kid, which is the irony. I'm a slam poetry kid, but I'm not a theater kid. I was on stage once because someone asked me to do their student play for them. Okay, and I did the vagina monologues several times. And Rocky Horror Picture Show. But, like, I'm not a theater kid. I'm stretching. I did make people weep. So now we have learned about Satan's fellow army friends. Because sometimes you just need to. On stage with Stanley, I was. I was not performing with Stanley. I was just doing an interview. Okay. I love listening to how Satan and his homies are like, you know what, we're gonna fuck with God. And basically Milton just went through the Old Testament and was like, here's who fucked with you, when and where. Oh, good one, Ditch. I do have to blink. Definitely have to blink. Okay. Alright. I think I want Pie to have some ramen. What do we think? I think Pie has deserved ramen. Here, Pie. Ugh, okay. We could be multiple types of people. Thank you, Shadow. Oh, I'm an honorary theater kid. Okay, just popping my spine. How we doing? Is everyone feeling soothed? You two Ditch can order for Pie. Or Zane. Let me see here. I can swap the Zane one. Alright. You made a thumbnail! Woo! Good job, Mama. Davina, did you finish your taxes yesterday? If not, I hope you're doing them now. There are macaroons. It's okay if you didn't. You may continue to do taxes now. Ditch, I hope you're still doodling. Okay. Let's see here. We are on line 522 of book 1. Shall we carry on? We continue. All right. We continue to fuck with God. I appreciate it. Mama, what you want to do is just go take some screenshots full screen out of your streams already. You'll be fine. You still have 2 more days in which to do taxes. You got this. Shadow, how are you doing on your own personal Lent? Mama, taxes are due this week, y'all. All right, Shadow, I will keep reading about fucking with God. Spite! Mama, don't make me tell the Voidbringer you haven't done your taxes. She will be displeased. She knows! Damn it. I'll just show up at your house. She's texting every day. Ask Binks. I'm waiting for Henry to come out. He's been yelling at me from downstairs. So we'll get some purring ASMR interlude, I promise. Don't make me turn this deep space around. Don't make me go full Lucifer on tax discussion. No, I'm the person who does their taxes super early. Shadow. Mine are done. Mama's are not. Mama does hers very last minute. Yeah. Hi, Kara. Okay. We will all accompany each other in our pain. It's okay. We're here together. Oh, also another fun fact. Wait, really quick, since we're pausing. I launched my mini new merch store, and any of my subscribers get, you automatically get 10% off if you are a Nikki subscriber. It should work. It has some of the stuff that's in the Redbubble store, but it has some like Nikki specific things. So feel free to get your 10% off. Woot woot on those things. And what else? Oh, I added more icons if you are a subscriber now. So like you get the little tea bags, like Shadow has a tea bag. I have my little boba tea. Anyway. Yeah. I was working hard. Okay. Like discounts everywhere. Discounts are cool. Alright. Cracking my neck. Back on line 522. I think I can get through book 1 tonight. Oh, thank you, Neko. And you picked pie. Yay. I was like, I have to make pie. Is chai latte like your drink, Neko? Because I do love a good chai. Alright, I think we can get through book 1 tonight. Because book 1 is only 1,000 lines, I think. Yeah, we're almost there. Oh no, book 1's only 800 lines. We're a little over halfway through. American taxes are frightfully complicated. Chais are amazing. I have to be in the mood for a dirty chai, Shadow. Okay, we continue. 300 more lines. All these and more came flocking, but with looks downcast and damp, yet such wherein appeared obscure some glimpse of joy, to have found their chief not in despair, to have found themselves not lost in loss itself, which on his countenance cast like doubtful hue. But he his wanton pride soon recollecting, with high words that bore semblance of worth, not substance, gently raised their fainting courage, and dispelled their fears. Then straight commands that at the warlike sound of trumpets loud and clarions be upreared his mighty standard, that proud honor claimed Azazel as his right, a cherub tall, who forthwith from the glimmering staff unfurled the imperial ensign, which, full high advanced, shone like a meteor streaming to the wind, with gems and golden luster rich emblazed, seraphic arms and trophies, all the while sonorous metal blowing martial sounds, at which the universal host up sent a shout that tore hell's concave, and beyond frightened the reign of chaos and old night. All in a moment through the gloom were seen 10,000 banners rise into the air, with orient colors waving. With them rose a forest huge of spears, and thronging helm appeared, and serried shields in thick array of depth immeasurable. Anon they move in perfect phalanx, to the Dorian mood of flutes and soft recorders, such as raise to height of noblest tempered heroes old arming to battle, and instead of rage, deliberate valor breathed, firm and unmoved with dread of death to flight or foul retreat, nor wanting power to mitigate and swage with solemn touches troubled thoughts and chase anguish and doubt and fear and sorrow and pain from mortal or immortal minds. Thus they, breathing united force, with fixed thought moved on in silenced soft pipes that charmed their painful steps o'er the burnt soil. And now advanced in view they stand, a horrid front of dreadful length and dazzling arms and guise of warriors old with ordered spear and shield, awaiting what command their mighty chief had to impose. He, though the armored files, darts his experienced eye, and soon traverse the whole battalion views, their order due, their visages and stature as of gods, their number last he sums. And now his heart distends with pride, and hardening in his strength glories, For never since created man met such embodied force, as named with these could merit more than small infantry war with cranes, though all the giant brood of Phlegra with the heroic race were joined, that fought at Thebes and Ilium, on each side mixed with auxiliar gods, what resounds in fable or romance of Uther's sons, begirt of British and Armoric knights, and all who since baptized or infidel, jousted in Aspimont, or Montalban, Damasco, Morocco, or Tresbient, or whom beset set from Afric shore, when Charlemagne with all his peerage fell by Fontribia. Thus far these beyond compare of immortal prowess, yet observed their dread commander. He above the rest in shape and gesture proudly eminent stood like a tower. His form had not yet lost all her original brightness, nor appeared less than archangel ruined, and the excess of glory obscured, as when the sun new risen looks through the horizontal misty air, shorn of his beams, or from behind the moon in dim eclipse, disastrous twilight sheds on half the nations, and with fear of change perplexes monarchs. Darkened so, yet shone above them all the archangel. But his face deep scars of thunder had entrenched, and care sat on his faded cheek, but under brows of dauntless courage and considerate pride waiting revenge. Cruel his eye, but cast signs of remorse and passion, to behold the fellows of his crime, the followers rather, far other once beheld in bliss, condemned forever now to have their lot in pain. Millions of spirits for his fault merit of heaven, and from eternal splendorous flung for his revolt. Yet faithful how they stood, their glory withered, as when heaven's fire hath scathed the forest oaks or mountain pines, with singed top their stately growth, though bare, stands on the blasted heath. He now prepared to speak, whereat their doubled ranks they bend from wing to wing, and half enclose him round with all his peers. Attention held them mute. Thrice he essayed, and thrice, in spirit of scorn, tears, such as angels weep, burst forth at last. Words interwove with sighs found out their way. O myriads of immortal spirits, O powers matchless but with the Almighty, and that strife was not inglorious, though the event was dire, as this place testifies, and this dire change hateful to utter. But what power of mind, foreseeing, presaging from the depth of knowledge past or present, could have feared? How such united force of gods, how such as stood like these, could ever know repulse? For who can yet believe, though after loss, that all these puissant legions, whose exile hath emptied heaven, shall fail to reascend self-raised, and repossess their native seat? For me be witness all the hosts of heaven, if counsels different, or danger shunned, by me have lost our hope, but he who reigns monarch in heaven till, as one secure sat on his throne, upheld by old repute, consent, or custom, and his regal state put forth at full, but still his strength concealed, which tempted our attempt, and wrought our fall. Henceforth his might we know, and know our own, so as not either to provoke or dread new war provoked. Our better part remains to work in close design by fraud or guile what force affected not, that he no less at length from us may find who overcomes by force hath overcome but half his foe. Space may produce new worlds, whereof so rife there went a fame in heaven that he ere long intended to create, and therein plant a generation, whom his choice regard should favor equal to the sons of heaven. Thither, if but to pry, shall be perhaps our first eruption, thither or elsewhere, for this infernal pit shall never hold celestial spirits in bondage, nor the abyss long under darkness cover. But these thoughts full counsel must mature. Peace is despaired, for who can think submission? War then, war open or understood, must be resolved. Hi, King. This is to help you go back to sleep. Go snuggle up. He spake, and to confirm his words outflew millions of flaming swords, drawn from the thighs of mighty cherubim, and sudden blaze far round illuminated hell. Highly they raged against the highest, and fierce with grasped arms clash on their sounding shields the din of war, hurling defiance toward the vault of heaven. There stood a hill not far, whose grisly top belched fire and rolling smoke. The rest entire shone with glassy scruff, undoubted sign that in his womb was hid metallic ore, the work of sulphur. Thither winged with speed a numerous brigade hastened, and when bands of pioneers with spade and pickaxe armed forerun the royal camp to trench a field or cast a rampart, Mammon led them on, Mammon the least erect spirit that fell from heaven, for even in heaven his looks and thoughts were always downward bent, admiring the riches of heaven's pavement, trodden gold, than aught divine or holy else, enjoyed in vision, beatific. By him first men also, and by his suggestion taught, ransacked the center, and with impious hands rifled the bowels of their mother earth for treasures better hid. Soon had his crew opened into the hill a spacious wound, and digged out ribs of gold. Let none admire that riches grow in hell, that soil may best deserve the precious bane. And here let those who boast in mortal things, and wandering tell of Babel and the works of Mephian kings, learn how their greatest monuments of fame and strength and art are easily outdone by spirits reprobate. And in an hour, what in an age they had incessant toil, and hands innumerable scarce perform. Nigh on the plain in many cells prepared, that underneath had veins of liquid fire sluiced from the lake, a second multitude with wondrous art founded the massy ore, severing each kind, and scummed the bullion dross. A third as soon had formed within the ground a various mound, and from the boiling cells by a strange conveyance filled each hollow nook, as in an organ, from one blast of wind. To many a row of pipes the sound board breathes. Anon out of the earth a fabric huge rose like an exhalation, with the sound of dulcet symphonies and voices sweet, built like a temple, where pilasters round were set, and Doric pillars overlaid with gold architrave, nor did their want cornice or frieze or bossy sculptures graven. The roof was fretted gold. Not Babylon, not great Alcaria, such magnificence equaled in all their glories, to enshrine Belus or Serapis, their gods, or seat their kings, when Egypt with Assyria strove in wealth and luxury. The ascending piles stood fixed her stately height, and straight the doors opening their brazen folds, discover wide within their ample spaces o'er the smooth and level pavement. From the arched roof, pendant by subtle magic, many a row of starry lamps and blazing crescents fed with naphtha and alphaphus yielded light as from a sky. The hasty multitude admiring entered, and the work some praise and some the architect. His hand was known in heaven by many a towered structured high, where sceptred angels held their residence, and sat as princes, whom the supreme king exalted to such power and gave to rule. Each in his hierarchy the orders bright, nor was his name unheard or unadorned in ancient Greece. And the Asusian land men called him Mulciber, and how he fell from heaven they fabled, thrown by angry Jove sheer over the crystal battlements. From morn to noon he fell, from noon to dewy eve, a summer's day, and with the setting sun dropped from the zenith like a falling star on Lemnos of Aegean's isle. Thus they relate, erring, for he with this rebellious rout fell long before. Not aught availed him now that built the heaven-high towers, nor did he scape by all his engines, but was headlong sent with his industrious crew to build in hell. Meanwhile, the winged heralds, by command of sovereign power, with awful ceremony and trumpet sound, throughout the host proclaim a solemn council forthwith to be held at Pandemonium, the high capital of Satan and his peers, their summons called. From every band and squared regiment. Sorry, my cat is trying to break out. You get a kitty paws! Baby kitty, did you want to come say hi? He's like, yes, I do. Hang on. Say hi. Nothing says calling a council to debate a war like a cat. Oh, I know. This can just be the entire stream. Henry, do you know you have a menu item called Henry's Hojicha? And you have a tuna melt. I'm taking a kitty ASMR pause. Oh, thank you, Shadow. I do need to hydrate. Yeah. You just want to be held? You a good kitty? Hopefully this will make you sleepy. Good kitty? Oh, okay. You can lay here. Did you can't lay on the book, though. I need the book. He's like, no, you don't. Oh, he got cat drool on the microphone. I love that for me. Henry will be back. He's finding a spot to get cozy. It's always Henry's gift. All right. Funny, you cast out a bunch of engineers and they fucking... Yes, Henry's Hojita. Oh no, it fell, Davina. You have to order one again. I bet you Henry knocked it out of your hand. Sorry, moving everything back. Okay. So, funny thing happens when you cast out all of your engineers from heaven. They can suddenly build an arena in hell. Isn't that great? Oh, it's perfect. He'll lick it off the floor. Good call. All right. We got 200 more lines, y'all. Meanwhile, the winged heralds, by command of sovereign power, with awful ceremony and trumpets sound throughout the hosts, proclaim with solemn council forthwith to be held at Pandemonium, the high capital of Satan and his peers. Their summons called from every band and squared regiment, by place or choice the worthiest. They anon with hundreds and with thousands trooping came attended. All excess was thronged, the gates and porches wide, but chief the spacious hall, though like a covered field where champions bold won't ride unarmed, and at the Soldan's chair defied the best of Panium chivalry to mortal combat or career with lance. Thick swarmed, both on the ground and in the air, brushed with the hiss of rustling wings, as bees in springtime, when the sun with Taurus rides, pour forth their populous youth about the hive in clusters. They among fresh dews and flowers fly to and fro, or on the smoothest plank, the suburb of their straw-built citadel. New rubbed with balm, expatiate and confer their state affairs. So thick the airy crowd swarmed and were straitened, till the signal given. Behold a wonder! They but now who seemed in bigness to surpass earth's giant sons, now less than smallest dwarfs, in narrow room throng numberless, like the Pygmean race beyond the Indian mount, or fairy elves whose midnight revels by a forest side or fountain some belated peasant sees, or dream he sees. While other head the moon sits arbitress, and nearer to the earth wheels her pale course. They on their mirth and dance intent, with jocund music charm his ear. At once with joy and fear his heart rebounds. Thus incorporeal spirits to smallest forms reduced their shape immense, and were at large through without number still amidst the hall of the infernal court, but far within, and in their own dimension like themselves, the great seraphic lords and cherubim, in close recess and secret conclave sat, 1,000 demigods on golden seats, frequent and full. After short silence then, and summons read, the great consult began. And that is the end of the first book of Paradise Lost. Book 1 of 12. Thanks, Ditch. I do have to blink. And drink. How's everybody doing? We got some kitty purrs. We got some pie ordering some, chai in the cafe. Hopefully everyone is chill and mellow, enjoying the beats. Like, checking how we doing. Yeah, cats love paper no matter what form it takes. That is so true, Kara. Like, really, buddy? Really, you just had to sit on me right now? Like, really? Love that for me. Yay. Oh no. Kara, Tom has come after you. I'm so sorry. Whee. Alright. Do we want to continue to book 2? Do we want to change to something else? How's everyone? We doing okay? Mama, are you still there? Have you died? Just checking in. That is an excellent thumbnail, by the way. I'm very proud of you. Is there anything I need to call anyone out on to help them get through things? Hello, my voice chat. I see that there are people who are watching in voice chat too, I think. I hope you guys are all doing well. And this is soothing. I feel like I'm just like performing audiobook live. And then reminding you to do your taxes. There is an ad starting in like a minute, so I'm just like talking through that. Oh, yay! I kind of want to put Ditch's painting up on the stream as well. I love watching her paint. So, yeah, devil is the tax. So book 1 is, of course, essentially they have all fallen, and they're like, Lucifer's like, you know what, maybe we should fuck the man. And everyone's like, yeah, we should fuck the man. And kind of starts getting... This is why I can't actually teach English anymore. I could be a high school English teacher. I'd be like, today we're gonna talk about how Lucifer fucked the man in Milton. I'd like you to write a 5-page paper. But anyway, so Lucifer gets up to say, fuck the man. We could talk about, Mama, if you want to talk about all the themes of like how he's like rebelling against the monarchy and all that great stuff, we can totally do that. But again, I'm a big fan of Milton's Lucifer for 2 reasons, actually, that you're going to get in I think it's at the start of book 3, end of book 2, start of book 3, because book 2 is known as the argument. He basically says, like, okay, look, so fuck the man, but if we're going to fuck the man, we can, like, subtly fuck the man as we've continued to do, or now that we know his fucking tricks, do we want to go back to heaven and try and do this again? And so book 2 is called The Argument because it essentially, they build this grand arena and thing to debate whether or not, yeah, we should royally fuck the man. But the thing that I really like about this is they make their vote, and to come up with Spark Notes could never do fuck the man. Is that they have their discussion, all the biggies that are named in the first part, each say their piece, they kind of have a vote, and then they ask follow-up questions. It's fantastic. And to do said follow-up question, the guy who goes, you know what, I think we should fuck the man. I fucked you the first time in fucking the man, and I'm taking responsibility for man fucking. I'm going to go do some research, and I'm going to be the guy that's going to go off and handle it. I mean, it's very old blank prose, but really, I'm just giving you the update. One of the things I really like about Milton is his writing style. If you haven't figured out that I fucking love alliteration, yeah. Yep, I love that shit. So, like, his writing style, I just love his way of using it. And like that double syntax and shit is the bomb. And I find it very soothing. Ooh, existential chamomile is a good choice right now, Frost. And it's funny, like I remember having to read Milton in high school. Maybe freshman year of college. Mama, when did we have to read Milton? We're old. I don't remember. And I was like, yes, words. Words are great. And I'm not gonna lie, now that I'm older and I very much embrace fucking the man, I'm like, I'm adding Satan to my harem. If this was a mama. If this was a mama thing. Right, Nego? Like, that's the thing is, I have a ton of poetry. Like, maybe, I know there are a couple of things. I'm a huge, if you can't tell, Ginsberg fan. I have many Ginsberg books. I have entered a couple of poetry competitions and have had one or two things published. I was, like, gifted a bunch of, like, as my trophy was several, like, Ginsberg books and things like that. And, like, I fucking think that the world could use to read more classics. Like, I'm talking, like, epic poems like this, mixed with the era of, like, the beatniks, plus even the current, like, poet laureates that have won. And, like, her name is totally escaping me. What's her name? Sorry. Amanda Gorman, who... She's an American poet activist. She was born in 1998. She's a fucking poet laureate, and she's amazing. She read at the presidential inauguration for Obama in, like, 2021. And, like, yes, we don't do enough with poetry in our life. And I think whether we are, like, I don't know what the fucking epic story is that's happening right now, but sometimes we just need beautiful words. And yeah, beautiful words are cool. Sweet. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna quickly order something. I want Zane Kitty. Haha. Okay. This is my order. You guys ready? Hopefully this will work. Yeah! Look at my little Zane kitty! I gave him a dessert sandwich. Okay. And you too can have any one of the cat boys as your avatar if you scroll over and do the little coffee thing on top of me talking. Zane kitty's adorable. Right? I will probably adjust those prices. Okay. Since people are still kicking it, I think I got another hour in me. Book 2 is over 1,000 lines. It's 1,055, so it's 200 lines longer than book 1. So thankfully, there is a note at the beginning. I will read the beginning, like, narrative note for everyone so you know where we're at. I don't know if you like my Chapter 1, fuck the man. Chapter 2, they discuss how to fuck the man and come to a consensus. So that's what book 2 is. Okay. Translator note. Or, sorry. Yes. Noticed notes. Book 2 is known as the argument. The consultation begun, Satan debates whether another battle is to be hazarded for the recovery of heaven. Some advise it, others dissuade. A third proposal is preferred, mentioned before by Satan, to search the truth of that prophecy or tradition in heaven concerning another world and another kind of creature, equal but not much inferior to themselves, about this time to be created. Their doubt who shall be sent on this difficult search, Satan their chief undertakes alone the voyage, is honored and applauded. The council thus ended, the rest betake them several ways and to several employments, as their inclinations lead them to entertain the time till Satan returns. He passes on his journey to hell's gates, finds them shut, and who sat there to guard them, by whom at length are opened, and discover to him a great gulf between heaven and hell. With what difficulty he passes through, directed by chaos, the power of that place, to the sight of his new world which he sought. All right. Oh, I forgot there's a shit ton of names coming up again. Fuck me. High on a throne of royal state, which far outshone the wealth of Ormus of Ind, or where the gorgeous east with richest hand showers on her kings barbaric pearl and gold, Satan exalted sat, by merit raised to the bad eminence, and from despair thus high uplifted beyond hope, aspires beyond thus high, insatiate to pursue vain war with heaven, and by success untaught his proud imaginations thus displayed. Powers and dominions, deities of heaven, for since no deep within her gulf can hold immortal vigor, though opposed and fallen, I give not heaven for lost. From this descent celestious virtues rising will appear more glorious and more dread than far from no fall, and trust themselves to fear no second fate. Me, though just right and fixed laws of heaven did first create your leader, next free choice, with what besides in council or in fight hath been achieved of merit, yet this loss, thus far at least recovered, hath much more established in safe unenvied throne, yielded with full consent. The happier state in heaven, which follows dignity, might draw envy from each inferior. But who here will envy whom the highest place exposes foremost to stand against the thunderer's aim, your bulwark, and contemns the greatest share of endless pain, where there is then no good for which to strive, no strife can grow up there from faction, for none sure will claim in hell precedence, none whose portion is so small of present pain, that with ambitious mind will covet more. With this advantage then to union, and firm faith, and firm accord, more than can be in heaven, we now return to claim our just inheritance of old. Sure to prosper than prosperity could have assured us, and by what best way, whether of open war or covert guile, we now debate. Who can advise may speak. He ceased, and next to him Moloch, sceptered king, stood up, the strongest and the fiercest spirit that fought in heaven, now fiercer by despair. His trust was with the eternal, to be deemed equal in strength, and rather than be less, cared not to be at all. With that care lost went all his fear, of God or hell or worse he recked not, and these words thereafter spake. My sentence for open war, of wiles more unexpert, I boast not. Them let those contrive who need, and when they need, not now. For while they sit contriving, shall the rest millions that stand in arms and longing wait the signal to ascend, sit lingering here, heaven's fugitives, and for their dwelling place accept this dark, opprobrious den of shame, the prison of his tyranny, who reigns by our delay? No, let us rather choose, armed with hell flames and fury, all at once o'er heaven's high towers to forced, resistless way, turning our torture into horrid arms against the torturer, when to meet the noise of his almighty engine he shall hear infernal thunder, and for lightning see black fire, and horror shot with equal rage among his angels, and his throne itself mixed with Tartarean sulfur and strange fire, his own invented torments. But perhaps the way seems difficult and steep to scale with upright wing against a higher foe. Let us bethink them, if the sleepy drench of the forgotten lake denumb not still, that in our proper motion we ascend up to our native seat. Descent and fall to us is adverse. Who but felt of late when the fierce foe hung on our broken rear, insulting, and persuaded us through the deep, with what compulsion? Yay! Thank you, Shadow. With Silas. Cute! Sorry, in the middle of epic speech. Descent and fall is adverse to us. Who but felt of late with the fierce foe hung on our broken rear, insulating, and pursued us through the deep, with what compulsions and laborious flight we sunk thus low. The ascent is easy then, the event is feared. Should we again provoke our stronger, some worse way his wrath may find to our destruction, if there be in hell fear to be worse destroyed? What can be worse than to dwell here, driven out from bliss, condemned in this abhorred deep to utter woe, where pain of unextinguishable fire must exercise us without hope of end, the vassals of his anger, when the scourge inexorably and torturing hour calls us to penance, more destroyed than thus we should be quite abolished and expired. What fear we then? What doubt we to incense his utmost ire, which to the height enraged will either quite consume us and reduce to nothing this essential, happier far than miserable to have eternal being? Or if our substance be indeed divine and cannot cease to be, we are at worse on this side nothing, and by proof we feel our power sufficient to disturb his heaven, and with perpetual inroads to alarm, though inaccessible, his fatal throne, which, if not victory, is yet revenge. No, it was great. Henry also came over at the same time. That is one of my favorite arguments. As much as Moloch's kind of a dick, I'm like, what could be worse than this? What worse could he do to us that has already been done? Fuck it. We do war. Henry has decided to come over. Yo, you got a purr. Yeah, they can't see you, buddy. There you go. Henry interlude. Oh, don't fall, kitty. Yeah. Do you think Moloch is right? What fate could be worse? Should we just say fuck it and go to war? Yeah. Oh, I think you're right. Little kitty ASMR. Okay. Henry has found his spot. All right. Moloch votes war. Next. Oh wait, I'm gonna pause because an ad starts. I'm not sure who's subscribed or not. And I need a break. Would I consider reading The King in Yellow? I'm down. I don't think I've ever actually read it, Kara. Let me look while we're on. Oh, yeah! I have to look up. It was written in 1985. I think it is technically, Kara, open for, I have to check if its copyright has been released. That's the only thing. If not, I will happily do it in voice chat for you. Right, Henry? Henry's like, meow meow, yes. Okay. I'm yawning. Ads are cruising. Thank you for the ditch for the hydrate. Okay. I think I'm gonna, let's see here. While we're waiting, I think I'm gonna order something from... I know what I'm doing. Haha! Wait. Moving things around. Alright. This feels like a very Caleb order on his Roomba. Caleb ordered hot milk to get us through the ad break. Again, I'm kind of with Malik on the vibe of like, we got fucked. How much more fucked could we get? What could be worse than this hell? Literally, we are literally burning an eternal hell, and we are divine beings that can't. No, mama. We are divine beings that can't die. So, like, what else are we gonna do? Oh, hello, Henry, who is now sitting on my lap. Can you guys hear him purring? I know, kitty. I know. Okay. Can you hear me talking still? Because he's just gonna sit on my lap while I read. He likes to do that. I read to him at night, so it's kind of his thing. I hope that's okay, everybody. Let me know if the kitty is too loud. Alright, are we ready, Henry? Yeah. Okay. He ended frowning, and his look denounced desperate revenge, and battle dangerous to less than gods. On the other side uprose Belial, an act more graceful and humane. A fair person lost not heaven, he seemed for dignity composed, and high exploit. But all was false and hollow, though his tongue dropped manna and could make the worse appear the better reason, to perplex and dash maturest counsels. For his thoughts were low, to vice industrious, but to nobler deeds, timorous and slothful. Yet he pleased the ear, and with pervasive accents thus began. I should be much for open war, O peers, as not behind in hate. If what was urged main reason to persuade immediate war did not dissuade me most, and seemed to cast ominous conjecture on the whole success. When he who most excels in fact of arms, in what he counsels, and in what excels mistrustful, grounds his courage on despair, and utter dissolution, as the scope of all his aim, after some dire revenge. First, what revenge? The towers of heaven are filled with armed watch that render all access impregnable. Oft on the bordering deep encamp their legions. Or with obscure wing scout far and wide into the realm of night, scorning surprise? Or could we break our way by force, and at our heels all hell should rise with blackest insurrection to confound heaven's purest light? Yet our greatest enemy, all incorruptible, would be on his throne still unpolluted. And the ethereal mold incapable of stain would soon expel her mischief and purge off the baser fire victorious. Thus repulsed, our final hope is flat despair. We must exasperate the almighty victor to spend all his rage, and that must end us. That must be our cure to be no more. Sad cure for who would lose, through full of pain, this intellectual being, those thoughts that wander through eternity, to perish rather, swallowed up and lost in the wide womb of uncreated night, devoid of sense and motion. And who knows, let this be good, whether our angry foe can give it or will ever. How he can is doubtful, that he never will is sure. Will he, so wise, let loose at once his ire, belike through impotence or unaware to give his enemies their wish, and end them in his anger, whom his anger saves to punish endless? Wherefore cease we then? Say they who counsel war, we are decreed, reserved, and destined to eternal woe. Did you want me to do the rest of this speech in corporate? Is that what this is? Hang on. There's the only more lines. Belial's got a good speech. Here, I can do all of Belial in corporate. I think. I guess I have to remember corporate Nikki for a second. You saw an opportunity. You should take it. It's good to take those opportunities. It makes this fun. Let me see. Say they who counseled war, we are decreed, reserved, and destined to eternal woe. Whatever doing, what can we suffer more? What can we suffer worse? Is this then worse? Thus sitting, thus consulting, thus in arms? What? When we fled amain, pursued and struck with heaven's afflicting thunder, and besought the deep to shelter us? This hell then seemed a refuge from those wounds. Or when we lay chained on the burning lake, that sure was worse. What if the breath that kindled those grim fires, awaked, should blow them in sevenfold rage and purge us in the flames? Or from above should intermittent vengeance arm again his red right hand to plague us? What if her stores were opened and the firmament of hell should spout her cataracts of fire, impending horrors, threatening hideous falls one day upon our heads, while we perhaps, designing or exhorting glorious war, caught in a fiery tempest, shall be hurled, each on his rock transfixed, the sport and prey of racking whirlwinds, forever sunk under yon boiling ocean, wrapped in chains, there to converse with everlasting groans, unrespited, unpitied, unreprieved, ages of hopeless end. This would be worse. I'm getting out my credit card that I don't actually have. It's working. It's worse. I went slightly Valley Girl. Sorry. I just made Belial in a meeting being like, bitch, no. That was the vibe. Alright, I'm going back. Valley Girls can be corporate too. Podcast plug. Make a podcast plug, but make it war. Oh, okay. Let me see. Do you too want to fuck the man? Do you feel that the man, whether that is your credit card, some weird fucked up algorithm named Carter, or some kind of place in between in a company that wants your money so that you can take pixelated men and you want to love them? Sadly, we know these things. We love these things. We are at war with our basest internal desires to not pull on Silas's birthday on his first fucking day. Well, hang out with us here at Love and Chick Space. You want to know why? We talk about that shit. We fuck the man. We fuck Carter. We fuck Astra. And we fuck our own fucking wallets that want us to fuck info to fuck these guys. Oh, but you want me to plug the war in heaven? You type too slowly. You are doing your fucking best, Shadow. That was my fuck Carter. You said do a podcast plug, but make it war. I tried to keep it under 60 seconds for you, mama. I want the world to know that Shadow is a stronger man than I. Because I am going to pull tomorrow with some fucking red diamonds. I just want you to know. No, you are not called out. You are called out in the sense of we are here to keep you company while you are fucking the man. That's what I was trying to say, Shadow. You're like, why are you pulling? Because I pull using things on day one, but I don't spend money on day one. I have been saving. You are watching me fuck the man. I'm now waiting for someone to be like, nature documentary. You can do it, Shadow. Remember, there's a couple options. You can either pull with resources that you currently have, aka if you have enough red diamonds to like pull, do it, but don't spend money to do a pull. Oh, Shadow would like to be wooed. Shadow, what would you like to be wooed about? There's so many things I could woo you about. YouTube friends, everyone's like doing all their channel points. Everyone keeps doing dealer's choice. All right. Shadow, your mind is as sharp as the swords that you wield when giving the utmost classic advice as a general to those who come to you, laying at your feet, asking for the advice of battle and protocols. Your eyes twinkle like HP cores giving hope to those who have none. You are the glory of our battle goddess, and without you the world is lesser. You know what? Shadow, do you want me to wait with... I can wait with you till Thursday. You are a battle goddess. That's how I see you. Oh no. Oh, thank you, Ditch. If you're wondering how I imagine you in Discord, Shadow, you are our battle goddess. And you may clip that for yourself if you would like to keep it. Alright, Frost has done nature documentary narration. Now, Frost, that's normally for the chat, but do you want me to do it for the book or the chat?
It's cold outside. Maybe someday you'll realize.
I think Frost is at... Because it might be a little hard to do it for chat right now. Let me see. I think I could do it for the chat. The book. Okay. This is hard because Belial's speech is not very... is not very nature... not very nature documentary. But I think I can do it. Hang on. Must get very close to microphone. I'm glad you guys find these things fun. Where was I? Ah, yes. by my advice, since fate inevitable subdues us, and omnipotent decree the victor's will, to suffer as to do. Our strength is equal, nor the law unjust that so ordains. This was at first resolved, if we were wise against so great a foe contending, so doubtful we might fall. I laugh when those who at the spear are bold and venerous, if that fails them, shrink and fear what yet they know must follow, to endure exile or ignominy or bond or pain, the sentence of their conqueror. This is now our doom. For if we can sustain and bear our supreme foe in time, may such remit his anger, and perhaps thus far removed not mind us, not suffering, satisfied with what is punished, whether these raging fires will slacken, if his breath stir not from their flames. Okay, I think that's the best I could do for a nature documentary on a speech in hell. I tried, Frost. I tried. Okay. Belial's speech still has 30 lines left. Henry's like, I'm out. Okay. Our pure essence then will overcome their noxious vapor, or injured not feel, or changed at length, and to place conformed in temper and in nature will receive familiar the fierce heat and void of pain. This horror will grow mild, this darkness light. Besides, what hope the never-ending flight of future days may bring? What chance, what change worth waiting, since our present lot appears for happy, though but ill. For ill, not worst, if we procure not to ourselves more woe. Any time for a detour, friends. Thus, Belial, with words clothed in reason's garb, counseled ignoble ease and peaceful sloth, not peace. And after him thus Mammon spake: either to disenthrone the king of heaven we war, if war be best, or to regain our own right lost. Him to unthrone we then may hope, when everlasting fate shall yield to fickle chance, and chaos judge the strife. The former vain to hope argues as vain the latter, for what place can be for us within heaven's bound, unless heaven's Lord supreme we overpower? Suppose he should relent, and publish grace to us all, on promise made of new subjection? With what eyes could we stand in his presence humble, and receive strict laws imposed to celebrate his throne with warbled hymns, and to his Godhead sing forced hallelujahs, while he lordly sits on our envied sovereign, and his altar breathes ambrosial orders and ambrosial flowers, our servile offerings? This must be our task in heaven, this our delight. How wearisome eternity to spend in worship paid to whom we hate. Let us not then pursue by force impossible, by leave obtained unacceptable, though in heaven our state of splendid vassalage. But rather seek our own good from ourselves, and from our own life to ourselves, though in this vast recess free, and to none accountable, preferring hard liberty before easy yoke of servile pomp. Our greatness will appear then most conspicuous, with great things of small, useful, of hurtful, prosperous, of adverse we can create, and in what place soar thrive under evil, and work ease out of pain through labor and endurance. This deep world of darkness do we dread? How oft in mist thick clouds and dark doth heaven's all-ruing sire choose to reside, his glory unobscured, and with majesty of darkness round covers his throne. From whence deep thunderers roar, mustering their rage, and heaven resembles hell? As he our darkness, cannot we his light imitate when we please? This desert soil wants not her hidden luster, gems, and gold, nor want we skill or art from whence to raise magnificence. And what can heaven show more? Yay! Thanks, Ditch! Oh, Xavier got some milk. Good, Xavier. Our torments also may, in length of time, become our elements, these piercing fires, as soft as now severe, our temper changed into their temper, which must needs remove the sensible of pain. All things invite to peaceful counsels and the settled states of order, how to safely best we may compose our present evils with regard of what we are and were, dismissing quite all thought of war. Ye have what I advise. He scarce had finished when such murmur filled the assembly, as when hollow rocks retain the sound of blustering winds which all night long had roused the sea. Now with hoarse cadence lull seafaring men o'erwatched, whose bark by chance or pinnacle anchors in a craggy bay after the tempest. Such applause was heard as Mammon ended, and his sentence pleased, advising peace. For such another field they dreaded worse than hell, so much the fear of thunder and the sword of Michael wrought still within them, and no less desire to found this nether empire, which might rise by policy and long process of time, an emulation opposite to heaven, which when Beelzebub perceived, then whom Satan except none higher sat, and grave aspect he rose, and in his rising seemed a pillar of state. Deep on his front engraven deliberation sat in public care, and princely counsel in his face yet shone. Majestic though in ruin, sage he stood, with Atlantean shoulders fit to bear the weight of highest monarchies. His look drew audience and attention still as night, or summer's noontide air. Thus he spake. Thrones and imperial powers, offspring of heaven, ethereal virtues, or these titles now must we renounce and changing style be called princes of hell. For so the popular vote inclines, here to continue, and build up here a growing empire. Doubtless, while we dream, we know that the King of Heaven hath doomed this place our dungeon, not our safe retreat beyond his potent arm, to live exempt from heaven's high jurisdiction and new league banded against his throne, but to remain in strictest bondage, though thus far removed, under the inevitable curve, reserved his captive multitude. For he, be sure, in height or depth, still first and last will reign sole king, and of his kingdom lose no part by our revolt, but over hell extend his empire, and with iron scepter rule us here, as with his golden throne in heaven. What sit we then projecting? Peace and war. War hath determined us, and foiled with loss irreparable, terms of peace yet none visouched or sought. For what peace will be given to us enslaved, but custody severe, and stripes, and arbitrary punishment inflicted? And what peace can we return? but to our power, hostility, and hate, untamed reluctance and revenge. Though slow, yet ever plotting how the conqueror least may reap his conquest, and may least rejoice in doing what we most in suffering feel, nor will occasion want, nor shall we need with dangerous expedition to invade heaven, whose high walls fear no assault or siege or ambush from the deep. What if we find some easier enterprise? There is a place, if ancient in prophetic fame in heaven ere not, another world, the happy seat of some new race called man, about this time to be created like to us, though less in power and excellence, but favored more of him who rules above. So was his will pronounced among the gods, and by an oath that shook heaven's whole circumference confirmed? Thither let us bend all our thoughts to learn what creatures there inhabit, of what mold or substance how endured, and what their power, and where their weakness how attempted best by force of subtlety? Though heaven be shut, and heaven's high arbiter sit secure in his own strength, this place may lie exposed the utmost border of his kingdom, left to their defiance whom hold it. Here perhaps some advantageous act may be achieved by sudden onset, either with hell fire to waste his whole creation, or possess all as our own, and drive, as we were driven, the puny inhabitants. Or if not drive, seduce them to our party, that their God may prove their foe, with repenting hand abolish his own works. This would surpass common revenge, and interrupt his joy in our confusion, and our joy upraise in his disturbance, when his darling sons, hurled headlong to partake with us, shall curse their frail, original, and faded bliss, faded so soon. Advise if this be worth attempting, or to sit in darkness here, hatching vain empires. Thus Beelzebub pleaded his devilish counsel, first devised by Satan, and in part proposed, for whence but for some author of all ill could spring so deep a malice to confound the race of mankind in one root, and earth with hell to mingle and involve, done all to spite the great Creator? But their spite still serves his glory to augment. The bold design pleased highly those infernal states, and joy sparkled in all their eyes with full assent. They vote, whereat his speech he thus renews. Well, have ye judged? Well ended long debate, synod of gods, like to what ye are, great things resolved, which from the lowest deep will once more lift us up in spite of fate, nearer our ancient seat, perhaps in view of those bright confines whence with neighboring arms and opportune excursions we may chance re-enter heaven, or else in some mild zone dwell not unvisited of heaven's fair light, secure, and at the brightening orient beam purge off this gloom, the soft, delicious air, to heal the scar of these corrosive fires, shall breathe her balm. But first, whom shall we send in search of this new world? Whom shall we find sufficient? Who shall tempt with wandering feet the dark, unbottomed, infinite abyss, and through the palpable obscure find out his uncouth way, or spread his airy flight upborne with indefatigable wings, over the vast, abrupt ere he arrive the happy isle? What strength, what art can then suffice, or what evasion bear him safe through the strict sentries and stations thick of angels watching round? Here he had need all circumspection, and we now no less choice in our suffrage, for on whom we send the weight of all, and our last hope relies. Okay, break time to drink and blink. I do love comparing those speeches back to back to back as I drink. Mama, you want to get some English major on, or are you still thumbnailing? Sorry, definitely drinking water. Yay. I like how one's like, fuck it, it can't get worse than this. One's like, oh, but it could get worse than this. And then one's like, or there could be another option, because it probably everybody's right. And now they're like, we're asking follow-up questions, because even though we're princes in hell, it's a good time to ask follow-up questions. Maybe MC could learn something. Wee. Layers of fear. Mama, you can absolutely send me screens. While we're waiting, let's see here. Who can I... let's do a classic. Dink. Oh, look. It's our favorite koala. Remember, everyone. Koalas. He has no time for kitty cards. That's how it is. Okay. This said, he sat, and expectation held his look suspense awaiting who appeared to second or oppose, or undertake the perilous attempt. But all sat mute, pondering the danger with deep thoughts, and each in other's countenance read his own dismay. Hang on. Yay! Thanks for spreading the love, Black Ops Ninja! Fuck yeah. Remember, be brave, be bold, be badass. Woot woot! Yay. Okay. Let's see here. Where were we on the paradise? Paradise is being lost. None among the choice and prime of those heaven-warring champions could be found so hardy as to proffer or accept alone that dreadful voyage, till at last Satan, whom now transcended glory raised above his fellows with monarchal pride, conscious of highest worth, unmoved, thus spake. O progeny of heaven, imperial thrones, with reason hath deep silence and demure seized us, though undismayed. Long is the way and hard that out of hell leads up to light. Our prison strong, this huge convex of fire, outrageous to devour, immures us round ninefold, and gates of burning adamant barred over us prohibit all egress. These past, if any pass, the void profound of unessential night receives him next wide gaping, and with utter loss of being threatens him, plunged into that abortive gulf. If thence he scape into whatever world or unknown region, what remains him less than unknown dangers as hard escape? But I should ill become this throne, O peers, and this imperial sovereignty, adorned with splendor, armed with power, if oft proposed and judged of public moment, in the shape of difficulty or danger, could deter me from attempting. Wherefore do I assume these royalties and not refuse to reign, refusing to accept a share of hazard, as of honor due alike to him who reigns, and so much to him due of hazard more, as he above the rest high honored sits? Go, therefore, mighty powers, terror of heaven, though fallen, intend at home, where here shall be our home. What best may ease the present misery and render hell more tolerable, if there be cure or charm to respite or deceive, or slack the pain of this ill mansion. Intermit no watch against a wakeful foe, while I abroad through all the coasts of dark destruction seek deliverance for us all. This enterprise none shall partake with me. Thus saying, rose the monarch, and prevented all reply. Prudent, lest from his resolution raised, others among the chiefs might offer, now certain to be refused, what erst they feared, and so refused, might in opinion stand his rivals, winning cheap the high repute, which he through hazard huge must earn. But they dreaded not more the adventure than his voice forbidding, and at once with him they rose, arising all at once, as the sound of thunder heard remote. Towards him they bend with awful reverence prone, and as a god extol him equal to the highest in heaven. Nor failed they to express how much they praised that for the general safety he despised his own. For neither do the spirits damned lose all their virtue, lest bad men should boast their spacious deeds on earth, which glory excites, or close ambition varnished o'er with seal. Thus they their doubtful consultations dark ended, rejoicing in their matchless chief. And when from mountain tops the dusky clouds ascending, while the north wind sleeps o'erspread heaven's cheerful face, the louring element scowls o'er the darkened landscape, snow or shower, if chance the radiant sun with farewell sweet extends his evening beam, the fields revive, the birds their notes renew, the bleating herds attest their joy, that hill and valley rings. Oh, shame to men! Devil with devil damned firm concord holds. Men only disagree of creatures rational, though under hope of heavenly grace and God proclaiming peace, yet lived in hatred, enmity, and strife among themselves, and levy cruel wars, wasting the earth, each other to destroy. As if, which might induce us to accord, men had not hellish foes enow besides, that day and night for his destruction wait. The Stygian council thus dissolved, and forth in order came the grand infernal peers. Midst came their mighty paramount, and seemed alone the antagonist of heaven, nor less than hell's dread emperor, with pomp supreme and godlike imitated state. Him round a globe of fiery seraphim enclosed, with bright emblazonry and horrent arms. Then of their session ended and bid cry with trumpets' regal sound the great result. Towards the four winds, four speedy cherubim put to their mouths the sounding alchemy, by heralds' voice explained. The hollow abyss heard far and wide, and all the host of hell with deafening shout returned them loud acclaim. Okay, that is halfway through book 2. And I'm gonna call it because I can hear it in my voice. I'm like, oh, it's kind of going out. But we have come to the end of the council. They're gonna, Satan, Lucifer, homie, is gonna go check if God really is making the worlds and if humans are really going to be a thing. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. So I'm gonna take a break there. Not bad. I think I've been reading for 2.5 hours. Go me. Yay. How's everyone doing? Are they like, we hanging out? Feeling good? Feeling cozy? Chilling. Did we get our stuff done that we needed to get done? I hope so. It's a little short stream, and that's okay. It was really lovely. I think I'm gonna call it, but I'm gonna do one more order. Hang on. Hee hee hee. I'm just trying to decide who I'm gonna do it with. Ah, this kitty has not come yet. Haha! Raphael. Oh, you should spread the Kali propaganda. I saw that. It was a beautiful TED Talk. It has lots of good little bits for people. This is so I don't have to talk at work tomorrow. It'll be great. Shadow, I'm happy to woo you anytime. Echoes of Kali is worthwhile for it does have some really nice story points. Just as an FYI. It's got excellent story points. And it's got a lot of Easter eggs. Some of them are funny. Some of them are like, oh shit, really? Also, great way to get some fucking diamonds if you need to pull. So I highly recommend some Kali action. Let me know if you guys like this. This was the first time. And I'm hoping it was soothing for everyone and cozy and got you to... Davina, I hope your taxes are done. Or at least closer. But I hope this was helpful and just kind of like a nice way to chill on Sunday. It's fun for me. I like to read. And I like sharing fun books. But otherwise, thanks everyone for kicking it. It was really fun. And it was lovely having you. Tomorrow, Mama's gonna be streaming. They did put MC Insane under that desk. Tomorrow, Mama's gonna stream some Dishonored, and I'll take over some Expedition 33 in the evening. Tuesday, Jasmine's Dawnbreaker for the next Void Side chat. Wednesday, we're doing, I think Wednesday, I'm doing some coziness with some kitty cards. Thursday's our new podcast episode, and probably some Silas talk for his birthday. Friday, we got some more stuff. We'll check the schedules. Who are we rating today? Let me see. First, let me say farewell to my friends over at YouTube. You guys are fantastic and I love you. Thanks for kicking it. Woot woot. For Twitch, let's see who I got on the raid. I'm hoping Sires are